Building a routine is painfully simple. It's staying consistent. That's the hard part. But you gotta stay consistent with your routines, because that is what's going to allow that routine to actually change your life. So let's talk about it. How to build a routine. A lot of clients come to me in my life coaching business and they tell me they need a better morning routine, or they need an exercise routine, or they need healthier habits. And what does that even look like? So a routine is just a series of habits that you do in a row, usually around the same time of day. So all you need to do to build a routine is pick 3 to 5 habits, do them consistently one after the other, and do it around the same time of day. That's a routine. There you go. You did it. So for example, my morning routine is I wake up, I work out, I meditate, I have breakfast, I shower, and I get ready. 5 things. I do them one after the other in that order around the same time every single day. And that's it. I have a routine. Building a routine is not challenging, but what is challenging is actually sticking to that routine. So let's talk a little bit about how you're going to stay consistent with your routines once you have decided what those routines are. The first thing that's going to help you stay consistent is you need to have a strong why behind your routine. So I am not going to be the coach that tells you that you need to only put things that you like in your routine, because growth and change is uncomfortable. Becoming a new version of yourself, creating a different life for yourself, probably is going to involve doing some things that you're not confident in or that you don't like doing. And I actually have a whole video on how to build confidence if that is something that you struggle with, but you're going to have to do stuff that doesn't feel comfortable if you want to change your life. So it's not about having a routine full of your favorite things. It's about having a routine that you are committed to doing because you have a strong why behind that routine. Sometimes I am not jumping out of bed excited to work out. Sometimes I actually am. Sometimes I'm looking forward to my workout, but sometimes I am like not feeling it, but I have a strong why for why I want to work out in the morning, and that gets me over the hump and helps me stay consistent on the days when, if it was up to me, I just wouldn't. I'm like, no, actually, it's on me to hit my goals. And so it's on me to do the things that helps me hit my goals. So have a strong why. Have habits and routines that are connected to your goals, that are connected to creating the life that you want to live. These don't need to just be arbitrary routines. These are routines that represent you becoming your future self. And when you think about your routine as the bridge from your current self to your future self, that is going to help you stay consistent with your routines. The second thing that I want to say about routines is that you need to make sure that you actually have time for this routine. So if you plan out a 5-hour morning routine that would require you to wake up at 3 a.m., you're not going to be consistent. And honestly, I don't want you to be, because you should be sleeping at 3 a.m. But I want you to plan a routine that is manageable for your schedule and for your life. It's not about doing the most. It's about doing something the most number of times. And so what I mean by that is, if you can do 15 minutes of yoga and you can do that every day, that is better than doing an hour or 90 minutes of yoga, but you can only realistically do it like when you're off work or once a month or, 2 days a week or something. Like, what can you really do every day? What can you do on your busiest day? And make the routine based on that. And so that is going to really rein in your routine and make you have to prioritize the things that are the most connected to your goals and the things that really are manageable for you to complete in a reasonable amount of time. So make sure that your routine is something that you actually have time for every day. And a short routine that you can do every day is so much better than a long routine that you can only realistically do a couple times a month. And so from there, I want you to think about building up your routine. So you're gonna stay consistent by treating your routine as a building blocks rather than having to have the whole routine all at once. What I mean by that is, we talked about 3 to 5 habits. But maybe if you're just starting out and you don't really have strong routines, you're going to pick 2 habits and put them together, and that's a routine. And maybe that routine takes you 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Maybe you journal for 10 minutes and you go on a 10-minute walk, and that's a 20-minute routine. But you do that routine every day around the same time of day for a month, and it feels like nothing, and it's totally integrated into your schedule, and you start to feel a little weird and funny when you don't do it, and that is integrated into your life. And then you can add on a third thing, and then it's like, I journal, I go on my walk, and then I don't know, I have a cup of tea. And now you have a 3-part routine that takes you 30 minutes. And you do that every day consistently, maybe for like 2 more weeks. And then that's completely integrated, and then you build from there. So we are building this routine step by step by step, and it will be much easier to stay consistent than if you have like a 5-part routine that you can't even remember all the steps, and it's like, oh, what am I doing? And really think about like, what can you do to where you have the order memorized? Like, it's just a part of you, it's second nature, it's something that you can't imagine not doing because it's just a part of you. That's how you're going to actually stay consistent for years and years and years, is that you built it up gradually over time. So think about a couple of habits, put them in an order that feels good to you, and start doing that the same time every day. And then when you feel like you don't want to, connect to your why. Remember that it's connected to your goals. Remember that it is the bridge to your future self. And remember that a short routine that you can get behind and that you can do each day is so much better than a long routine that you realistically cannot be consistent with, no matter how hard you try, and it's not your fault, you're just busy. So that is what I have for you on how to build a routine, and more importantly, how to stay consistent with a routine. If you want more guidance on routines, habit change, and productivity, I actually have a habits and productivity guide down below. It's completely free. There's journaling exercises. There's more information on how to build habits and routines that help you show up in the world as your future self. So it's not productivity for the sake of productivity, it's productivity and being consistent so that you can change your life. And this is also the work that I do with my life coaching clients. So if you're interested in learning what it would be like to be a client, you can head down below and find the link called Coaching Consultations. And that is a free session with me where we get to know each other and we talk about what it would look like for us to work together, and we just decide whether or not it would be a good fit. So if you're curious about my coaching and the kind of work that I do with my clients, and you think you might want to become a client, a coaching consultation is your next step. And finally, if you've made it to the end of this video, you must know that I have a podcast with over 150 episodes. It's called the You 2.0 podcast, and it's all about transforming your life and transforming yourself. So if you want more from me, if you love these videos, make sure you head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Type in You 2.0 by Samara Kasai. That's me, I'm Samara, and you will find so much juicy content over there. All right, I love you so much, and I will see you again very, very soon in another video. Mwah! Take care.